6 true facts that sound completely made up. A spoonful that weighs 1 billion tons. A soda company with its own navy. A war that lasted 3 centuries with nobody getting hurt. Number 1. A spoonful weighs 1 billion tons. 1 teaspoon of this star would weigh about 1 billion tons. Not a truck, not a building, a single spoonful you could try to scoop with your hand. It's called a neutron star, the crushed leftover core of a giant star that ran out of fuel and collapsed in on itself. When that collapse happens, gravity becomes unstoppable. It crushes the core inward harder than anything you could ever picture, in just a few seconds. The squeeze is so brutal that atoms get smashed flat. All the empty space inside them simply vanishes, packing everything together. What's left is jammed as tightly as the nucleus of a single atom, the densest material anywhere in the known universe. A whole neutron star fits more mass than our entire sun into a ball the size of a city. The numbers barely make sense. So that little spoonful? It would drop straight through the floor, through the ground, and keep falling. Space is absolutely wild. Number 2. Pepsi once owned a navy. In 1989, the Pepsi company briefly owned a fleet of warships, 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. For a strange moment, on paper, that gave a fizzy drink company one of the bigger naval fleets on the planet. Here's how it happened. The Soviet Union loved Pepsi, but their money couldn't easily be spent in other countries. So instead of cash, they paid Pepsi with something they had plenty of, a stack of old, retired Navy ships. A Pepsi boss even joked to a government official that he was shrinking the Soviet Navy faster than the army was. Of course, Pepsi wasn't going to war. They quietly sold every rusty old ship off for scrap metal. But for one genuinely odd moment in history, your favorite fizzy drink technically had submarines. Number 3. Lightning is hotter than the sun. A bolt of lightning is about 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. A quick flash beats an enormous burning star. The sun's surface glows at around 10,000 degrees. A single lightning bolt can rocket up to nearly 50,000. But how can a tiny spark outburn the sun? The secret isn't size at all, it's pure, sudden speed. Lightning is a massive burst of electricity tearing through the air in a tiny fraction of a single second. The air resists that surge, and the resistance heats a thin channel almost instantly to a staggering temperature. That sudden blast of heat makes the air explode outward, and that violent push is the thunder you hear. So the flash is hotter than the sun, and the boom is simply the air scrambling to get out of its way. Number 4. Caesar got kidnapped by pirates. Pirates once kidnapped a young Julius Caesar, and instead of panicking, he treated the whole thing like a joke. The pirates demanded a ransom of 20 silver coins worth. Caesar laughed and insisted he was worth at least 50. That's right, he told his own kidnappers to charge more. Then he spent his captivity bossing them around. He read them his poems, joined their games, and warned them, with a friendly smile, that he would be back. The pirates thought he was hilarious. After the ransom arrived, they happily let him sail away. But Caesar absolutely meant it. He gathered a fleet, tracked every last pirate down, and made good on his promise. The lesson is simple. Maybe don't kidnap the one guy who cheerfully promises he'll come back for you. Number 5. Sharks are older than trees. Sharks are older than trees. They were already gliding through the oceans before the very first tree ever grew on land. Sharks have been around for roughly 450 million years. That number is almost impossible to imagine. The earliest real trees only appeared something like 100 million years later. Sharks beat them to the planet. They were here long before the dinosaurs, before flowers, before nearly everything you'd picture as truly ancient. Some scientists even think sharks might be older than the bright rings circling the planet Saturn. Through 5 giant waves of extinction, the sharks just kept swimming, barely changing their near-perfect design. So next time a shark looks strangely prehistoric, relax. It's because it genuinely, truly is. Number 6. A war that lasted 335 years. 2 places stayed officially at war for 335 years, and in all that time, nobody was ever hurt. It was the Netherlands against the tiny Isles of Scilly, a cluster of little islands off the coast of England. Way back in 1651, during a tangled conflict, the Dutch supposedly declared war on these little islands. And then everyone simply forgot. No battles, no soldiers, no shots fired, just a declaration left hanging in the air. For 3 whole centuries, the islands were technically at war with a country far away, and had absolutely no idea. Finally, in 1986, someone dug through the dusty old records, realized what had happened, and signed a real peace treaty. 3 centuries of war, and the only real casualty was everybody's memory of it. 6 facts that sound completely fake, and every single one is true. Which one did you absolutely refuse to believe? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. If you liked this, follow for a new science and history short every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.